Chuasu, what's up YouTube? Mr. Captain Falcon here for Deck Profile, and this is Deck Profile on my Pure Monarchs. Yes, you heard me correctly, Pure Monarchs and not Frognarchs, not like Ghost Trick Monarchs. This deck's fairly fun to play. I put it together looking at Stormforth and seeing how much of a broken card it was, and it's very hard to play around, and surprisingly enough, this deck did fairly well. The only like subpar matchups that it maybe had against were against Stellar Knights, but with a few tweaks to the main and a few tweaks to the side, that matchup gets a lot easier. But onto the deck profile. First off, we play two card car. Card car is very important. It lets you draw into your one of your two cards that you need. You either need your tributes or your tributable stuff. So card cards are very strong in that aspect. And since you play so many hand traps, your board's never really empty. So you play 3 Fader and then 3 Jack Frost. These are both your tributes. They stop a lot of stuff. The fact that Jack Frost can book stuff and then just like making it so your Monarch can run over cards is very good. And then of course Fader is very strong in any type of Monarch deck. So for tributes we play 2 Majesty's Fiends, 3 Caius, and then also 3 Ryza. Majesty's Fiends, Caius, and Rises, I think these ones are pretty self-explanatory. They're all really strong right now. But Majesty's Fiends also strong. A lot of people say you should play this over, you should play Vanities over Majesty's currently. But the reasoning why you play Majesty's is because it's searchable in this deck. So that's very cool too. And then for our last monster, we play 2 Rise of the Mega Monarch. This card's pretty silly. Air Jordan's effect is you can target one in your grave when he's tribute summon, and you can summon him through one tribute summon monster. So you can tribute your Caius, your Ryza, or your Majesty's Fiends, bounce their card, and then target a card in either player's graveyard or in the field back to the and add it back to that hand. And normally you target one of their stuff, and then you target a card in your own graveyard, and you normally target like Monarch Stormforth. You can target back another Caius or Ryza. You can target back one of your 3 trap cards. Those are very good. And also, if you tributed a win, you can add another one back to the hand, so that's also really good. For our spells, we play 2 Space. That's self-explanatory. 3 Upstart and 3 Duality. Reasoning why we're playing Upstart is just to, again, same as card to draw into the key cards you need. Duality, same thing. You don't really special during your turn in this deck, so just being able to get a free search is very good too. And for our broken cards, we play 3 Soul Exchange and 3 Stormforth. Soul Exchange is much more subpar compared to Stormforth, but Soul Exchange lets you just get a Majesty's Fiends out for free. Kai's banish something very strong. These are basically 1-for-1 removal, and then, or technically neg-1 removal, but you get to use their monsters. That's really strong. And this card's the whole reason why I wanted to play this deck, is this deck's broken, or this card's broken. Untargetable, it's not targetable, and pretty much outs every monster in the game. Then we play 2 March of the Monarchs, and then 3 Return of the Monarchs. Both cards are very, very stupid. March of the Monarchs, the only reason why I'm not playing 3 is because it does clog sometimes. Return, on the other hand, is very good to have whenever. March of the Monarchs is a card that, while it's activated, you can also special summon from the extra deck. Same with Return. But while March of the Monarchs is face up on the field, tribute summon monsters you control cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. So it's very strong. You activate this and then tribute summon, and they can't respond to it almost always. The only card they can respond to is basically Warning, Bottomless, Compulse, Torrential. None of them stop it. This card's very strong. It might be going up to 3, even though I said it clogs. Cards are really broken, and if you have it, a lot of people will try to Space Typhoon this. But if they Space Typhoon March, you have your Return. Return's your Stratos. Whenever you tribute summon a monster, you can add a monster of 24 with 1,000 defense, or 28 and 1,000 defense. So you can add every single tribute summon monster you play, and this activates once per turn. But remember, you have to keep it face up. So this card's broken. If you normally have this, you normally win the game, and you have a tribute summon monster. Just tributing for a Kai, searching a Ryza, tribute summoning a Ryza, searching a Ryza is very, very good. And it makes it very hard to play. And then for our traps, we play 2 Monarchs Erupt and 1 Escalation. I do want to play a second Escalation, but I do not have one, and nobody else in my store had one, surprisingly. But to explain what these cards does, this is basically an ultimate offering for Monarchs. You can tribute summon during their turn. in their main phase or the battle phase, and you can immediately tribute summon a monster. That's very strong. Basically, like I said with Return, since you keep continuously searching one, you can just keep summoning Monarchs, and that's very good. But this card is very fun. Monarchs Erupt is a very strange card. You can only activate this during while you have no extra cards and you have a tribute summon monster you control. And when you activate it, it's a skill drain. And during the end phase, it checks if you have a tribute summon monster, if not destroy it. But the one turn skill drain is very strong sometimes. It can stop a lot of monsters. It shuts down a lot of decks. If you have a like Kai's and you have this out against Stellar Knights, you normally win. Very strong. Very hard to play around too. Negates a lot of it negates all the Shadow effects while they're face up, or when all their flip effects. Stops constructs trying to pitch. Very strong card. Stops Moral Talk too. So cool card. Let's see, and then we play for our side deck. 2 Maxi, 2 Ice Hand, and 2 Fire Hand. I really want to pump up the hands to at least 3 because they're very strong in this deck because you don't play any normal summon monsters. You can actually main these if you'd like to, but for now this is the list. They're very good in this deck. They become pop 1 then tribute 1, so that's very good. Play a third space. I decided to play 2 Knock in this one. Knock's very good. It kills their monster, mostly Shadows. But if you have like a say like a Kai's out already and you don't want to like swing into their set Shadow monster, you can just knock it away. So very good card. Then we play 2 Decree. You can play this up to 3. You can play Trap Zone instead. I just threw in Decree in this one. Then we play 2 Shadows. This card's actually kind of awkward. For this one, it doesn't stop Fader or Jack Frost because they activate in hand, but it does stop Kai's, so you normally side Kai's out when you side this in, but it's just too good to not play. And then for our last 2 trap cards, we play 1 Soul Drain and 1 Max for Cosmos. Both cards are very broken. Both cards are really strong, and I really wish they wanted to do this format, but of course not. You can definitely main this. You can main DeFi too. I just decided against it this time. But I do want to try and fit these in the main. But if this does go in the main, you can't main the hands because it does conflict. So that's a little bit of a problem, but otherwise very strong. No extra deck, guys. Like I said, Monarch Erupt makes it so you can't play an extra deck. There's also some other Monarch cards, like the one that makes it so it's unaffected, the one that like lets you draw one that isn't out yet. But those cards are also fairly decent. You should definitely try them out. You can definitely just play an extra deck if you just don't want to play Monarch Erupt. There's no problem against that. You don't really make anything. Normally the Monarch bodies are enough. But making an M7 or like a Gauntlet launcher or something like that seems sort of cool. So you can definitely opt to try that out. So that's the deck profile, guys. Comment, rate, subscribe, and peace out, YouTube.